Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Psychonaut Sessions, your home for all things psycho. This is your host, Daniel Moeller. Today we're going to discuss ARCANE by Cosmic Lion Productions. Cosmic Lion Productions is the publishing house by Eli Schwab, who is a god amongst men. Eli Schwab is responsible for such wonderful items as, well, he has the Cosmic Lion podcast. He's got the Grendel podcast, called Devil in Details, along with Ben Granoff, as well as responsible for publishing numerous zines, including a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles zine, Ween zine, and they're in the works with the Grendel zine, as well as Wizard, the comics magazine, which is one of the best magazines that has come out about the subject of comic books in years and years and years and years and years. Eli Schwab is one of those pillars of the indie comic book community, and this guy does everything, including makes his own comics, he's one of those guys that is always backing independent cartoonists, holding them up. He just seems to have his fingers in everything. So kudos to Eli Schwab and this new publishing venture called ARCANE. So ARCANE is a book. Well, let's kind of go into the credits here, and then we'll kind of talk about it. It's a whole collection of people really working on this, but it's ultimately the brainchild of one man, Steele Filipek. There is an awesome interview with Steele Filipek by Ryan Balcom of the Comics Lounge, who's another major pillar of the indie comics community. I'll link that interview in the chat. You should go watch it, where they talk about this book specifically, but just a little bit more about Steele Filipek. Great guy. I really resonated with him in that interview, and just after reading this book, I highly resonate with him as well. So this was written by him. He did the lettering for it, and he's ultimately the creator. This is his brainchild. More of the team. Basically, we have Mac Radwanski, who's, I think I'm pronouncing that right, Mac Radwanski, who did the artwork. So it looks like he did the pencils and the inks. Very well done, by the way. And then we have a slew of other items here. Tones by Ben Granoff. So Ben Granoff is another one of those pillars of the indie community. I kind of consider him the godfather of the indie comic scene. And then we have a front cover by Eli Schwab. Oh no, the front cover is designed by Eli Schwab, Ben Granoff, and Sam J. Royale. The title and the logo was Steele Filipek, but the cover artwork and colors were by Chris Anderson and Christian Measy. So Chris Anderson has been in quite a few indie projects. I think he had some work in Weapon X, which I was a part of. He's been around. He's got some really great stuff. His quality is amazing. The colors on this are amazing. The design is amazing. Amazing. So ARCANE, billions of secrets, millions of nightmares, thousands of years, hundreds of lives of one teenager, no hope. The cover is so appealing. It looks like a major publisher had put this out, and the quality of the book too is just astounding. It's nice and thick, won't bend easily, and it was for such a great price, for $5, and it's totally worth it. As far as I know, this is at least a 4 to 6 issue miniseries that most of it's already in the works, and I believe issue 2 is already in the can, ready to go. Steele Filipek, I think, has pretty much a finite story written out for this, but open to doing more. And after reading this, I would say, give it to me, Steele Filipek. These are the kind of comics I want. 100%. So from the get-go, not only do we have this black and white indie feel from specifically from the 80s, from that era of like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Outlaw Comics, which I absolutely adore and I love, but the story is just boom, 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 boom. I mean, we're just entering all kinds of crazy hodgepodge of imagery, and our splash page is this boy who is surrounded by a bunch of dead bodies and doesn't really know what happened. He's got sort of amnesia, and he's got this amulet, this pendant that he has in his hand. Then he gets encountered by this fellow who kind of knows what's going on and is trying to usher him away. And then we get a bunch of flashbacks. So we're getting the build up of this boy's life experience, where he's come from. And, at first I was like, no, don't flashback from this awesome scene that's going on. But it really helps set up a context and helps you really care about the main character, most definitely. And I think also you could tell he's setting things up so we can understand this boy's motivations down the line. Again, the quality of this artwork is astounding. Mac Radwanski, your pencils, your inks are great. If it's probably hard to see on this camera, but Ben Granoff on the tones. I've seen Ben Granoff do this before. Someday I'm gonna hire this guy to do tones for my own work. Just a wonderful work. He puts these textures on there that really gives it that 80s feel that looks like numerous layers of duotone and zipatone are put upon the palette. But I know Ben, he does it all on his tablet, on his computer. But he does such a great job with it. I've talked with him before, and he really gets into the zone. He really flows into this like Zen-like state whenever he's working, and I trust his work completely. So wonderful setup. I don't want to get into too many details about this book because everybody needs to go out there and buy this. It was exciting through and through. So this boy ultimately comes into contact with this amulet, and what this amulet does is that it does tap him into all of the people that have touched or worn or carried this amulet for thousands of years, for years past. So whether they were powerful magicians, warriors, whatever. So he gets all of this rushed into his consciousness. And this guy, who's somewhat sort of a sorcerer magician, which I love how he just kind of looks like a normal dude. I love that 100%. Is kind of created a filter so he doesn't get too overwhelmed by all of these different personalities and all these various personas that have carried the amulet thus far. But he basically he found this guy on the street, saw that he was getting attacked, and went to go rescue, or not rescue, but just to help out this guy who looked like he was getting attacked, and then he accidentally touched the amulet, and boosh, everything went crazy, and all the people around him ended up dead. He went, it's like, I love the effect, the negative effect that is happening here. I did an effect like that for my most recent version that I did of 1963. That'll be coming out soon for a giant size 63 of Hypernaut. So anyway, but awesome book. There's zombies chasing them, and according to Steele Filipek in his interview that will be linked in this video, he mentioned Great and Secret Show. He mentioned Clive Barker, and that there's this kind of other world alongside the real world that exists that it you don't always see, but definitely the door is opening for this kid to tap into with his adventure. So it sets up all this mystery. There's a preview of issue 2, so we get a glimpse of the big bad coming up. You get some awesome stuff like early sketches of the artwork, as well as Steele Filipek's early sketches from like high school, I believe it was. Even back into when he was 10 years old, he developed this concept. And a great concept it is. It's so much fun. Cannot praise this highly enough. And in the back we get some more kind of cosmic happenings from Eli Schwab there, and some of his other books that you can check out. Oh, including Babe Lord, the Origin. So check that out from Eli Schwab too. But 100% love it. Cannot give this book enough praise. I want more Arcane. This is definitely a book I am going to be backing all the way. I'm going to pick up every single issue. If they do a Kickstarter for the trade, I'm behind it all. So go check it out. Cosmic Lion Productions. You can order your copy right now. And everybody, keep it psycho.